What's up? What's happening? Welcome here to Where in the Sports World. I'm Travis Eldridge. On this episode, I'm joined by former Missouri standout, former Boston Celtic Phil Pressey, the speedy guard currently playing basketball in Germany for Oldenburg in Basketball Bundesliga. That's the top level of basketball in Germany. And he's been a big part of this team's early season success over in Germany. But it's been a bit of a journey to get to this point in his career. It's a pro journey that started when he left following his junior year with the Missouri Tigers. And despite going undrafted, he earned his way to get minutes right away as a rookie with the Celtics, taking advantage of an opportunity with Rajon Rondo out of the lineup early on in that season. On this show, we'll talk about that opportunity he got early in his NBA career, what it was like to get that chance so early on. He also shares his welcome to the NBA moment, good story there, and also how he's adjusted to life overseas and talking about playing with another former Missouri star, Ricky Paulding. All that and more with Oldenburg guard Phil Pressey right now. Phil, catch me up. Where in the sports world are you right now? Tell the people.
Right now, I'm currently in Oldenburg, Germany. I'm playing in the German league. This is my first year here. Right now, we're playing. We're having a good season so far. We're 10-2, so just trying to, make the best of this situation, the pandemic that we're in, and, really focus in and, try to, enjoy it as much as we can.
Now, I've had a chance to watch your team a bit, and you guys are fun to watch, man, between you and Ricky Paulding and Keith Hornsby. It's a collection of guys that some people back here in the United States probably know pretty well. What's the feeling like around the locker room with all you different guys and a lot of you playing in Germany for the first time?
Yeah. Well, the guys you named, Keith Hornsby and Ricky, they're very good scorers, and we have a well-balanced team. And we have we have a lot of weapons, different options that, guys can score. And I feel like we've been utilizing that, very effectively, this year. And I don't know, we've just been having, a good time. We have good team chemistry. Everybody likes each other. And it's just, I don't know, the coaching staff that we have here, the whole organization makes it easy to have a good team chemistry. So we're very lucky to have that.
So I mentioned Ricky Paulding, and he's like a veteran over there, been there for, it seems like forever. And you guys are both Missouri grads or alums and former Tigers, and he was there like 10 years before you. Do you ever give him a hard time about that?
Nah, not at all, because what you don't know about Ricky is I think he's like wine. He gets better with time, because that guy, he doesn't age at all. He rides his bike to practice every day, which is like probably from his home, like a 15-minute ride. So, and he's able to, practice every single day. And, in the games he's playing, I think he plays the most minutes on the team. He's just a special guy on and off the court. So it made it, for me coming here, it made it easy for me to kind of adjust, because how, humbling he is. And it's amazing. Like, I went to training camp with Golden State a couple years ago, and usually the best guy on the team is kind of like tells you what the team is going to be like. And Steph Curry was the same way. He was, humble. Even though he was the best player, he has $100 million. He was as humble as can be. And Ricky is the same exact way. Like, he has championships here. He's been here forever. And he could, he could have a forget you attitude, I've done this. But he has that humble, that mindset, and, that's the sign of a great leader.
Yeah, he's got that like Tom Brady in him. He shows
he does.
up.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what level you are. There's certain guys that you can see that, the longevity, and the only way that you're able to do that is a consistent, work ethic that, I don't know, that's been instilled in him since he was young, probably.
Yeah, the crazy thing, I was doing prep for your games the first time, and I was looking back through his career. Like, he's playing in college against Dwayne Wade. Wade's been out of the NBA now for a couple years, and
Exactly.
Ricky's still dropping 20 over in Germany.
Yeah, he had 36 a month ago. 36. 36. If you get 36 in China, Australia, or in America, 36 is 36, man. And he's getting buckets over here, and we need every single one of them.
Well, you mentioned all the shooters and the people. It has to fit your game so well because this has to enable you to do what you do best, which is to kind of be the floor manager and distribute the ball.
I mean, that's you hit it right on the nail. I mean, for me, when guys are scoring and guys are in their spots, getting the ball, the offense is running smoothly. That's a sign that I'm doing my job. And if I can continue to do that and guys are able to succeed, that makes me look good. So whenever I'm on a team that I'm able to score 0 points and have 7, 8 assists, and we win a game, then I did my job.
How much do you look at the rosters when you were with your agent trying to figure out where you're going to go each year now? Because I think it's fascinating in talking to everybody that's overseas. Like, you got offers from different countries that you got away. You got to figure out what league you want to be in. How much did you look at the roster and say, well, you know what, if things kind of line up, this puts me in a position not only to win, but also for me to look really good and succeed?
Yeah, that's very important, and that's, when your agent, that's why you pay your agent, for them to put you in the best situation to succeed. And, when Germany came up, I felt like this was a good opportunity. And I know this is a great league, one of the top leagues in Europe. And right now it's been working out, and we just have to just keep it up and try to finish the year the same way we started.
So what's the adjustment been like to playing overseas the last couple of years? I know you were in Spain before, now you're in Germany. What's the adjustment?
I think the biggest adjustment is probably, the travel. You're traveling from, I mean, this year we're only playing one game a week and we're staying, in Germany. But when you start traveling outside of Europe, to different countries, that's a, it's different. The games are different. The atmosphere is different. When you don't understand what the announcers are saying before the game, it's a whole different mindset, and you don't know the rivalries. Like, Kansas, Mizzou, that's one game that, that people wake up for to play. So, there's certain rivalries over here that you have to, start to understand and get adjusted to. But, I feel like basketball is basketball. Sooner or later, it comes down to, who can make shots, who can play defense. And, those things are the, things that stay the same.
So I know the pandemic has stopped most people from doing anything, but Oldenburg as a city and place, like, what's it been like?
Starting off, it was nice, because the weather was a little bit better. Some of the restaurants we're able to go to a restaurant and eat dinner, and I can't tell you the last time I've been to a restaurant. It's literally been months that I've been to a restaurant to eat dinner, go to the movies or go to the mall, like things like that you kind of take for granted. You don't have anymore. But it's just been a lot of time with me and my wife. We've been able to learn each other more because we're literally in each other's face nonstop. And it's funny, I was joking with my friend the other day. He's like, "What are you about to do?" I'm like, "Take a walk." That's like the highlight of our day is taking walks, So, at the end of the day, like I said before, we're in a good situation. We're winning, which is very nice to do. And I'm healthy, man. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, all positives there, and I think our health is something that maybe we took for granted at times before, but certainly not now. Let's go back to when you were first coming out of college, because we're here in Boston. Obviously, you had a chance to start your NBA career here with the Celtics, and you don't get drafted coming out of Missouri, but you kind of fell into what was a good situation because Rajon Rondo was out, and you had an ability to come in and play for the Celtics pretty much right away. Yeah. What was that opportunity like, and what did it mean for your career, especially early on?
It meant a lot to my career. It gave me an opportunity to play, somewhere where I wanted to since I was a little kid. When you're 6, 7 years old, you're watching, basketball Christmas Day games, and you look, and that's like literally where you want to be is the NBA. So you literally work your whole career just to be, in the NBA. and I made that. I had an opportunity to play in the NBA. And I think I got that opportunity because of, my work ethic. I worked so hard, and when the opportunity presented itself, I was able to capitalize on it.
You get that opportunity so early on, and I kind of liken it to me. Like, I've had a couple of times throughout my broadcast career where I've gotten like a big break, like had an opportunity to do a couple of games on ESPN, and then you fall back, and then you're like, well, all you want to do is get back there. Like, how is
Exactly.
that kind of, it almost sets your expectations so high because you've gotten there. Like, does it
hmm
drive you? Does it frustrate you? Like, when you've gotten there already so early on, how do you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying you got some of the same feelings I've had. You get the taste of it, and you want to stay there. But I mean, for me, it's part of the journey, man. There's gonna be peaks and valleys, and I feel like when you're in the valleys, even though it might not seem so good, you got to put it in perspective because there's somebody who's always dying or wanting to be in the position that you're in. Even though you're not where you want to be, there's probably somebody who would do anything to be in your situation. So when you put it in that perspective, which I do so many times, it makes me, look at it a little bit different. And, yeah, I want to be back in the NBA, but, I've met so many, great people, great friends through this journey.
I mean, you still get to play professional basketball for a living, right? Like,
Exactly.
that's ultimately when you grow up, that's the dream.
hmm Exactly.
Uh, I think it's so fascinating because, like, you are in a position that so many basketball players are in, that you're at Missouri, you have a terrific college career, and you
hmm
say, like, after 3 years, I'm good to go. Like, I'm ready to go to the next level, and then you go undrafted. If you could give advice to, like, junior year Phil Pressey at Missouri, what would that advice be?
Um, I really don't really know because I feel like the situation that I made was, a situation or how I felt at the time. They say hindsight is 2020. You can look back and say, yeah, I wish I would have did that, but I wouldn't trade that, that decision for anything because if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have been on the Celtics. So it's a journey, and the decisions you make in the past, yes, they, affect your future, but you can't really look back too far into it, man. I think I just take it as if I would give myself a, uh, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what I would tell myself, man.
It's fair.
Because at that time, like I was really like, so focused on the NBA. I mean, you can't tell anybody, a kid, don't go for your dream because it's right there. You can't.
No, it's true. I mean, and like you said, it worked out. Like, you're a year out and you're playing for the Boston Celtics, and
Exactly.
that's it.
Exactly.
Like that. If you were to tell yourself that when you make that decision, you say, "All right, sign me up. I didn't get drafted, but I'm playing on an NBA team right now. Like, sign me up."
For sure. For sure.
You speak a journey, and from everything I've heard, the G League is like a legit journey.
hmm
What's the G League like?
It's a grind, man. There's so many hungry guys, young men that are trying to make their dreams a reality. And there's so many good players, and the difference between, the 10th guy on the NBA roster and the guy who's in the G League, it's probably not that, it's literally, you're looking at the same player pretty much. Maybe that guy might be a little taller, or that guy might shoot the ball a little bit better. But the difference is probably just opportunity, man. That's all it is. And guys are so hungry for that opportunity. So it's a grind. Going to different cities, and hotels aren't as good. Travel. You're having 2 or 3 layovers. I think it's gotten better now, so that's a good thing.
You mentioned, like, travel and stuff. What was the pinch me, I'm in the NBA moment when you first got to Boston?
When I was sitting next to Rondo, I mean, like, cause that was like 5 years, 4 years before that. I'm playing my brother in 2K, and all I use is the Celtics. With Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Jeff Green. I mean, I played with Jeff, but Like that was like my team I used. Like that's it. And then years later, that's like my, my vet, my guy who I'm like actually like, looking up to, I'm trying to learn from him, you know. That was probably like my, like I'm in the NBA, like dang, Rondo's right. He's the locker next to me.
Did you play with yourself in 2K that you like
Oh,
the next couple of
of
years?
course,
Were
man, of
you
course.
better in the video game or better in person?
The video game for sure. Because with your player, you can shoot the ball 20 times a game, and in the game, I can't. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, you can't get away with that when you got
Yeah,
coach on
but no way. I wouldn't be in the NBA if that would have happened.
the side. Wait, flip side, what's the best story you can tell to kind of sum up what the grind of the G League's like? Because is it a travel situation? Is it like facilities? Like what's the
Mhm.
grind? What sums up what the grind's like?
It's pretty much the unexpected. I was, you know, when I first, my third year when I was in the G League, I was kind of I had a more of a role, like they were kind of like looking to uh probably call me up. I was more, I mean, now they have two ways, I was more in that role. And then the year after that, when you have young guys who get drafted, um, teams send guys down. So if you're already on the G League team and the team sends a guy down, that guy's gonna play because they invested in that guy. It doesn't matter if you had 25, 30 points the game before. It doesn't matter if you're like averaging 20 points. That's like if they send a guy down, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I think that sums it up really well. And like the business of pro basketball takes over
mhm,
there as opposed to like when you're coming up, it's like, oh yeah, if I'm better, I'm going to play. And at the end of the day,
mhm.
it's like, who are we invested in?
Exactly. And as a, being 21, 22, 23 years old, or kids now 19, 20, they don't understand that. That it's hard for them to understand, all they're looking to try to do is, score 20 points. That's their goals. But then there's so much more that goes into it, you know, and it's not about just that, the teams, organizations have, plans for that organization, and the guys they draft or the guys they invest in are gonna come first always.
With you, your dad obviously was a good player, a great player, and then went on to be a coach. What has his presence meant in your life and throughout your career?
His presence he's always been there, and the thing that I respect about my dad the most is that he's allowed me to grow, and he wasn't really hands-on in my game. A lot of people would think that, my dad, the NBA coach, NBA player, we would be in the gym nonstop. He would wake me up, let's go to the gym, let's be in the gym all day. But he kind of gave me space, and that I think that made me want it more. You know, um, he would give me a little help. He'd be like, "You should work on this shot," or he would watch my games because he wasn't in most of my college games. He wasn't at most of my high school games. He wasn't at because of his his job. So he would watch games on TV on ESPN or replays and give me some insight on what he thinks. But other than that, I think the best thing that he allowed me to do was just grow by myself, figure things out by myself. So
Have you ever wanted to grow more, like right around where you're height wise, like at your height?
yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was 6'2", I don't think I would work as hard as I do now. Because for me, I've literally had to play with a chip on my shoulder since I was 10 years old. Me playing up with my brother, me always being the smallest kid on the court. I think that made me make the NBA. Because I literally had to work the hardest. And even though I'm not in the NBA now, I'm still working the hardest. And that's like, my mindset, my whole career is to be a hard worker and let my work, pretty much give me my results.
Because I'm sure that you've encountered this from like when you listen to scouts or like people recruiting. Like, what was the most frustrating thing somebody has told you about your size and like not being able to play at another level? Like, is there something that sticks with you?
No, I mean when I was younger, they would always say, he's too small, but it got to a point to where, I was so good that it really didn't matter anymore. Once, high Division I schools started calling, then you kind of figure that it didn't matter anymore. And, it's part of the game, it is what it is. There's gonna be, it doesn't matter what profession you're in, there's gonna be, limits that people try to put you in, a box that people try to put you in. And it's up to you whether you want to listen to it or not.
And speed-wise, I don't know. Like when I watch you play over in Germany, I don't think there's a faster guy on the floor. Who's the fastest guy you've played against?
Fastest guy, in Europe or just in
Anywhere,
general?
yeah. Like who's the fastest guy that you felt like maybe has a step on you?
I still ain't. I don't think I found that guy yet, man.
There you go. Well, like Rondo, like playing against, like in practice with Rondo, how like you got to step on him?
Yeah, I mean it's Rondo, man. I mean, I feel like Rondo. He was me coming in, going against him. That man he was pretty strong. Like there was times where I felt like there was nothing I could do. Because it's just a difference. Like you going from college to a professional player. NBA champion. It's like he's seen so much. A college player coming in is not too much that I've seen. And it was just, I was like, wow. That's like I said, when I started playing against him, I was like, dang, I'm actually in the NBA. That was the wake up, like, okay, let's go.
Fair enough. All right, we'll finish with some quick hitting questions. Have a little fun to get you out of here. First off, when you get back from Germany and land back in the United States, what's the one food item that like is first on the list that you got to get?
Probably some good barbecue, man. Some good ribs or some good barbecue chicken from somewhere. Might have to hit Cane's up one time. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The go-tos. Oh, do y'all have Chick-fil-A in Boston?
We do now. It wasn't here for a while, but now they're like all over the place.
I know it wasn't there when I was. I mean, it was actually it was like I think it was pretty far away from Waltham. I don't think there was one in Waltham.
Yeah, they got one not too far away now, so you're missing out.
Yeah, I missed it. That's all right. Texas has enough of them.
That's true. So it leads me to my next question. You grew up a bunch of different places because obviously what your dad did for a living. Where's the one city, like if you could pick one city to live in, where is it?
Dallas, man, where I'm at right now. I don't know. I think my mom's from Texas, so that's probably why I reside there now. But Texas, I'm a Texas boy at heart, man.
And finally, if there was one game throughout your college career that you could go back and replay, what would it be?
At Kansas. At Kansas, we were up 20 points at half. They came back and beat us, man. That's probably the one that hurt. I mean, then Norfolk State. That's probably the number one right there. I still haven't watched that whole game.
No, you just you don't want to touch it.
I refuse to watch that game.
You playing at Kansas, is it as an opposing team, especially in the Big 12, and as intimidating as it seems?
No, it's not intimidating. I mean, it kind of it gives you goosebumps, man. I remember being on before tip off. You can't even hear my teammate. We're trying to talk. You can't even hear each other. The court is literally shaking. Like there's no other place, to play on the road. That's probably the toughest place, I believe.
Well, you're on the road now. You're over in Germany. Phil, we appreciate the time. Good luck here the rest of the way. Hopefully we'll have a chance to catch up sometime down the road.
For sure, man. I appreciate you.